Dreamers everywhere. Welcome to 45-minute wait. It's been a minute. Al and I are here to talk. So, yeah, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? It has been a minute.
Yeah, I think the last time we recorded was November. I was in the middle of grad school and still am in the middle of grad school. And you were in the
How
middle.
selfish. I can't believe you decided to go to grad school while we're doing this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to be a doctor. This is only my master's. So he still wins. But Al was in the middle of moving into a new house. And now he has a
hmm
house.
Yeah, if you're watching us on YouTube, this is new.
Yeah. I like it. You got a new chair too.
I did get a new chair.
Okay. Yeah, it looks nice.
It's a very comfortable chair. This is me in my office on my first floor.
You don't have
And
anything Disney in the background though
I
on our
not in
Disney
my immediate
podcast.
well, I'll share on our Instagram, but I had a very expensive Steamboat Willie Big Fig right where you see where my finger's pointing. And right before I went to Kansas City recently, I bought this museum gel because I got a lot of statues and I live in California and California is shaky. And I bought this museum gel that affixes your statues so they don't topple. And I bought it and the Amazon package came right before I got on the plane. And I put it right next to the Mickey Big Fake statue and said, oh, I should do that now. I'll do it when I get back from Kansas City. Guess what happened? My brother was
That's
here and
uh,
it's not his fault. He just backed up quickly. And
oh,
yeah, I mean, that really hurts because I've had that for
I
years
know
and
exactly what you're talking
I've
about.
moved it so many different places and managed to keep it safe. And this was literally what I've been wanting to do, was to have it right here behind me on our podcast for years. And literally right before, I was in Kansas City, last week? And
Yep.
that's when it crashed. I have pictures of it in pieces.
See, people, that is why you don't buy things. You buy experiences so you can experience and you don't have to worry about the things every time you move. Not to
Uh,
mention we're in our
or
15th house, but
or that's why listen to yourself when yourself says, hey, take that precaution
that
you're
always
supposed to
happens.
take,
Yeah,
you know,
that does
that,
always
uh,
happen.
that, uh, museum jail, they call it,
Yep.
and go ahead and do that. Cause if I had done that, and let me tell you something, if you've never used museum gel, takes like 30 seconds. Make a little ball, stick it underneath. It's fine. This got museum
Yeah.
gel on it.
Yeah, I bet it does.
Yeah.
I bet it
Every
does.
statue in the place now has got museum gel on it.
All right. Good to know. Good to know. All right.
But there's Disney stuff
Well,
over there. You just can't see it.
yeah, which is
And
weird because
the
it's a
stuff on the books, then,
podcast.
yeah.
All right. Well, it looks nice. I like the color of the wall.
Yeah, this is my, what was the name of this color? It was a very special color. I was watching a YouTube video about how to decorate a masculine den. And this color came up and I went and got it.
Okay. We think
Because
Gen
I'm
Z and Gen
nothing if not
Alpha.
hyper masculine.
Yeah, exactly. I just think that it's funny that Gen Z and Gen Alpha are all about like the following what YouTube told me this, YouTube told me this, but you are part of that generation apparently.
Well,
No,
I
you're
know
not. You
nothing
can
about
never.
decorating, so I was like, "Oh, if I really want to take decorating my place seriously, I should probably listen to some people." So I
Well,
went and
I
watched a
guess
couple
YouTube is
videos.
where to go.
Sue me,
I'm not going to
okay?
sue you. You're fine. I can't do anything. We're in a rental still. Our
Hmm.
1 year that we were going to be in a rental is now on year 4. So,
Hey,
whatever.
I've spent 55 years in a rental,
I
and
know.
now I'm in a place that I own and I pay mortgage on.
Yeah. All right. Great. Awesome.
That's a
Well,
hefty
Al and
mark. That's a
I,
hefty check.
it is. I know. Al and I had to get back on. It is today. We are recording on March 27th, and the D23 Expo info just came out yesterday on the 26th, and we wanted to talk a little bit about that. Uh, Really, are we going? Are you going? Is Al going? Are you our listeners and friends? We want to know if you're going, what you're thinking.
Mhm.
So Al, what are you thinking?
I mean, I don't think anybody's going to be confused or surprised by the fact that I definitely plan to go. Um, Actually, I'm surprised because today, sort of the detail, was it today or yesterday? I can't remember, but
Yesterday.
the details
Hmm.
of sort of the pricing and the structure came out, and it's about
Hmm.
what I thought it was. It's about what it was 2 years ago, which is surprising to me because usually that stuff goes up. Unless I'm wrong, I think it's around the same price.
No, it was about the same price
Yeah.
for what we got. We got Honda Center last year, 3-day
Hmm.
pass and the 3-day Honda Center.
Yeah. So
And
I
the
had
Honda
already booked.
Center, well,
Yeah.
just for those who don't know, the Honda Center is like the huge, like they call it, they
It's the
still
ice
call it a
hockey
panel.
stadium, and they do big
Yeah.
panels in there. Yeah.
Yeah. They call it a panel, but that's the big one where we shared pictures last time of all the announcements coming up and all the star power and the legends
Yeah,
and
it's
things like
where
that.
they do the Disney Legends presentation.
Yeah.
They do here's all the new movie presentations we're doing, and then they do a parks presentation where they do like 2 years ago is where they
Hmm.
announced like the Villains Land and
Yeah.
all the different Coco and all the different things that are going on right now at all the parks around the country were announced when we were in the room at the Honda Center 2 years ago.
Right. And so now, 2 years ago when we went, we got online and waited quite a long time. I remember you had to go. You couldn't stay the full time to buy online.
Yeah.
And we were able to get 3 tickets for the event and the Honda Center. This time, they just released the prices, and something we found interesting is that the 3-day pass with Honda Center is the starting price is at $297. The
Right.
3-day pass at the convention center without Honda is also $297. So
Right.
I am very curious about that. You said you had a theory.
I have a theory about how they're doing that. My theory is that the tickets for the Honda Center are going to be first come, first serve. And then
Yeah.
once those are out, the only tickets you
Yeah.
can get will be not with the Honda Center, but I think they'll probably simulcast the Honda Center
Yeah.
stuff in the convention center. I think that's how
Yeah,
they're
but
going to
they
do
did
it.
that before. So what's the difference? Like, why are they charging the exact same price? Now, I will say, I'm saying starting at 297. Last
Yeah, it
time
goes up
when
much from 297.
it goes up much, and last year when we did this, it's like a lottery when you get in. And my place in line was before Al's, and we were able to get 3 tickets on that cheap price point. But we were like 3 rows from the very top.
Yeah, like you could
Like
literally I could turn my arm around and touch the back
And
wall. It
yeah,
was,
it
yeah,
was, like, insane, and they only have a few of those, so I know those will sell out very fast. So I know it's not gonna be, common to get that 297 price point for all 3 days at the convention center and the Honda Center. But you're telling me you're gonna try for it? What are you gonna
I'm
try
gonna
for,
try for
actually?
it. I'll probably try for the 320. There's one level up, which is the lower, and it's still the top tier, but it's sort of the lower tier. It's like
The
another
lower
30
of the top?
bucks.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping since it seems like you guys aren't going to be going for that, sometimes with these things, when I'm just buying one seat,
Yeah, good
it's a
point.
lot easier to get because
Mhm.
they can just sort of slot me in anywhere as opposed to trying to find like 4 seats together. Right.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping that just going solo. But again, they're doing it April 2nd. Is it April 2nd?
Yeah,
The on
that's on
sale date
Thursday. That's on
for
Thursday.
gold members. And I'm
Mhm.
like, I really would appreciate if like Comic-Con is good enough to do these things on Saturdays because
Or
I have
even
a
early in
job,
the morning, start 'em
or
early in
even
the
early in the
morning.
morning because I have a job. And so now I had to block an hour out of my work day.
An
And that's
hour? It was more than
assuming
an hour last time.
it was a lot more than an hour the last time. That's assuming that I can get through it in a relatively brief period of time because the way I'm paying for this ticket is by working. So,
Yes, yes.
I can't, just sort of decide whatever and go,
Yeah, and if
How
you
long did
guys
it take us last time? I remember I had to get off and you guys had
you
to
had to get
stay
off.
on. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't remember, I must have had the day off of work because I didn't take the day off, but I remember working at home. It must not have been a Thursday. I wanna say it was like a grading day or something where I was able to work at
Okay.
home. This time they are starting early ticket sales, but for charter members, so you would have had
Which
to
are the
be a
people
gold
who,
member
yeah,
since
in 2009,
2009.
which I would have
Um
been when it came up, but I couldn't afford it in 2000.
I didn't think that anybody would go for it. What do I know? I also thought nobody would go for pin trading. I'm an idiot. So anyway, But they are offering, not for me, but like for maybe other people who live down there, they're offering a 1-day afternoon pass for
Yeah,
$50, $49, so you can go
which
in,
I
but
think is
that's
pretty cool.
from hours 4 to 8, which if I just lived down there and wanted to see the floor, the exhibitions
Right.
and things, I would do that, but you can't get any of the panels, and I enjoy the panels, so I probably wouldn't
I enjoy
do.
the panels a great deal. I mean, like, it's like when I go to Comic-Con, I'm actually more there for the panels. I like the floor, but the floor just
Mhm.
is like a vacuum sucking money out of my wallet, so
Yeah,
it's nice to have, but they also said they're gonna extend programming into the evening, so there might be some things for people to do besides the floor, but I do think, to your point, that's largely for locals who just wanna walk the floor.
that's what I think. I will believe it when I see it. D23 has never had, in my opinion, stability. They've never grown. Sometimes it seems like they're still a startup with how they run
Yeah.
things. It's just my opinion.
Well,
Okay.
especially
Not
when you
going
compare
to,
it to like Comic-Con, who've been doing it for 55 years, right? That they've got some things kind of
sure.
locked that Comic-Con has things locked that
No, no,
D23
no,
could
no.
kind of
We
pick
are
up.
talking Disney here, Al. We're talking Disney. We're not talking some Joe Comic Con down the street. We're not talking Rose City Comic Con.
Watch your mouth on Comic-Con, first of all, because the
What?
Comic-Con I'm talking about is not some Joe Comic-Con down the street. I'm talking about
I know
Comic-Con
you're not.
International.
But you are comparing the number one Comic-Con event that those people
Hmm.
have it nailed down, okay?
Yeah,
But you're
that's my point.
talking about comparing it with Disney, like Disney
Yeah.
would just be the startup, and it's Disney. It's not gonna be a
Oh
startup.
no, yeah. The distinction between how Disney usually does it and how things sometimes work at D23 is pretty stark.
Yeah,
Well, and I
very
think that's
stark.
a good point. So one of the things that we talked about a minute ago that I think we could expand on is I'm still sort of interested in going to the Honda Center and you're not.
Mhm.
Can you talk
No.
a little bit about your experience with the Honda Center 2 years ago and
If you
why you've decided that you don't? I mean, we recorded about it then, but we don't want them to have to send back to old episodes. Tell our friends
I
what
sure.
your experience was 2
I
years ago
hate
at the Honda Center.
people. I don't like people. I don't like many people. And when there are many people and they are trying to get to the same place at the same time on provided transportation,
Mhm.
nope, that is not for
Well,
me.
and here's the thing, I don't have those problems as much as you do, but the organization of the transportation bothered me a great deal because it
Yeah,
was
I'm getting like
incredibly
worked up thinking
unorganized,
about it. Like I can't even think about it without
right? Like
having
getting on
that
the buses,
reaction.
like it was super confusing and you didn't know where to go. And some buses were for special people and some buses were for everyday people and
And
da da
then
da
the
da da.
resorts had some bus
Hmm.
going on and everything, and you know what? I'm not doing that. I would much rather go, if I want to, go see it simulcast in, the convention center somewhere, and if it's not, fine, I'll have my social media going on my phone, and I can find
Well,
out
and they
that
also
way.
simulcast it. Did they put it online at the same time last year? I can't
I don't
remember.
remember. I don't remember because I was there. But so last time you didn't stay for the Legends, are
Yeah,
you
that's
gonna
just
stay
because I
for the
had an early
Legends?
flight. Yeah, I
Yeah.
so this year I booked to stay over Sunday night.
Okay.
And so I'll be able to stay for that, and maybe we can go get dinner Sunday night or something like that. But yeah, last time I had just the thing I never do when I book flights is account for the 2 hours you got to be at the airport early, plus the time it takes to get to the airport. I just hadn't accounted for that. And so, I had to leave at like 3 just to get to my 6 o'clock flight, and by that time, there was just really no because the Legends, I think, was earlier in the afternoon, it wasn't in the
It
evening,
is, and
which
it
is
still
yeah,
is. It's gonna be at one
yeah,
o'clock this
yeah, but
time.
I just couldn't do it and get to the airport in a reasonable period.
Yeah, I'm okay seeing that simulcast. That means I won't be in the same room with Lin-Manuel Miranda, which makes me sad, but well.
But weren't
Um,
we in the same room with him at the last didn't he show up to the
no,
Encanto?
it
I thought he
was,
showed up to or was
no,
it Donny Osmond?
video. Donny Osmond
Oh,
showed up.
yeah,
But
that's
it
true.
was over video that
Okay.
Lin-Manuel showed up. No, I'm gonna go, we are gonna take Annika for the first time. She hasn't been yet,
Mhm.
and as some of you know, Emma's been working the last 2 events. She won't be working this one. She's in a different department now, so she'll have to be a guest like the rest of us. Um, I just I don't know. The stress of last time and the Honda Center was enough to make me not wanna do
But I
anything,
but I
and
do think that it's relevant, very relevant I go to these kinds of things all the time,
I
and I
know.
don't have the sort of. I actually like being in a. I don't. Well, I can't say I like being in a crowd. I don't mind being in a crowd as much, I think, as you do. Like I don't have that reaction that you do. It if you do, and I know a lot of people who do, even the show floor can be really
Oh, heck
overwhelming.
yeah, that's like Comic-Con, I
So
can't do the show
yeah.
floor, like
Oh my god, at
yeah.
Comic-Con, the show floor is I get anxious on the show floor at Comic-Con because it's
But
just insane.
see, Emma and Fernando, my son or my daughter and, I was gonna say son-in-law, but they're not married,
I was gonna say,
boyfriend-in-law?
is there new news? What? I didn't hear
No.
about this.
But, they did not go to Honda Center last time, and they said that it was significantly better to wander
Yeah, I
around,
bet. Well, that's
the
the
convention
I
center.
did wander around the convention center on that
Mm,
because I still had a little bit of time before I had to go to my flight. It was great. There was, like, nobody
yeah.
there because everybody was at the Legend ceremony. It was awesome.
So if we get our tickets, which we're gonna plan on getting tickets, if we go, I think the only thing that is gonna be a have to do for and it's not even for me, it's mostly for Annika, is going to see the masquerade. Like that is Annika's whole thing is costuming and cosplaying, and she really wants to go. So I think that's gonna be
Yeah.
like that's on Saturday night, and I think that'll be like the one thing we try. But I can't do even I tried and you did it last time, like, they were doing shopping passes where you had to wake up at, like, 4 in the morning to get a shopping
Yeah.
I cannot have that in my life. If anybody else wants
Well,
to
and
get
oh
something
my
or
god,
buy something, I
I
can't
spent
do that.
so much money at D23 last time. It
I don't
was
I'm
insane.
they had
Because
good
unlike
stuff.
you, I like things.
I know, I know, I know, I know.
I am a collector by nature, and I'm not saying it's healthy. As a matter of fact,
But, like, the
let me just say it's
stress.
not. Oh, it's incredibly stressful. And again, to the organization piece, you shouldn't have to wake up at 4 in the morning to do this. Because what
Mm-mm.
they do is use the Disneyland queue system.
Yeah.
And I think the reason they make it at 4 in the morning is because they have already got slots for the things in the park later on, and they don't want everybody doing it at the same time. I think I was been thinking about this for the last couple of years. I was like, that's why they do it at like 4 in the morning. But it's still really awful. It's
Okay.
a dumb
I hope
system.
that I'm right. I don't think I care about any one thing enough to buy, like, to there's so many people that do, and it brings them joy, and I get that, but I cannot I just cannot, like, the stress of all that. I just need to go and, like, walk around, and if it gets too crowded, pull back and just see what they have
Well, I
and
mean,
be
that's the
part of
other
the
piece, right?
atmosphere.
The other piece is hotel location is critical.
Mm,
So
yes.
I reserved a room in the Hilton, which means if I get overwhelmed, I just walk across the breezeway and I can go take a nap for an hour.
How long ago did you book that room? That's what
Oh, that
I'm
was like
curious
4
about.
months ago.
Okay,
That
okay.
was like
See,
4 months ago. I
I'm
look,
like
I'm a
I know,
Comic-Con professional.
I
So
know.
one thing I know is when you have these big conventions, keep an eye
Yeah,
on when the rooms are available.
yeah.
And with D23, they usually put the rooms up months before they even like they just put the ticket stuff up now. They had the room reservations up like 6 months ago.
Okay, okay.
So I don't know,
Um,
have you been on now if you can still get like the Hilton?
no,
I
in
haven't been
fact,
on there.
all when I got on right when they announced it yesterday and I got on the closest hotel, this is what surprised me. The closest hotel available, it's not available right now, is the Hotel Lulu, which is like a Best Western boutique
That's
hotel
still
right across the
pretty
street.
close. Yeah.
It's super close. It's super close.
Yeah.
It's also
Yeah.
fairly inexpensive. It was only 215 a night.
Mhm.
And that was that it's your basic hotel or whatever,
Yeah.
but all of the other hotels that they were offering were at least a mile and a half to 2.5
Mhm.
miles away, which I thought was
And if
very interesting.
yeah, and you guys last year were not close by. You were pretty far.
No, but even the ones that they're offering through D23 are farther
Mhm.
away. They're farther
Mhm.
away. So like I can go to Hilton, because we have
Right.
our Hilton honors or whatever, and I can get a Hilton room closer than like where we had it last time. We stayed at the
Right.
Embassy Suites, which was still a mile away. It's like past Roscoe's
Well,
House of Chicken and
and
Waffles.
the thing I will say is when it gets late at night, some of those Anaheim streets are not like I wasn't like it was you and Ed, so usually I was a little more okay, but if it's just like you and Annika walking a mile, I don't know that that's gonna be the safest thing in the world. But then I
Right,
walk you
it
to your hotel, then I gotta walk back to my it's a whole thing.
I'm sure. I would take a lift. But we made reservations at a different hotel, not going through Disney, which is still close by. I want that, like you said, I want that nap option, or that like get away from people option.
Well, and
Um,
the thing is, the older I get, I'm not gonna lie, the ability to go back and take a nap or just take a break and sit
Take a
down
break
and get
from
off my
people.
feet,
Hmm.
oh, it is so choice. If you have the means, I highly recommend it. That's for all you Gen Xers out there. You'll know the reference.
Well, yeah. So I mean, if for people who haven't seen it yet, there's no discount. They have a discounted price for the afternoon, but I was even looking, like, if you get a 1-day pass, it's
Hmm.
$99. If you get a 3-day pass, it's $297. It's not like you're saving any money
Right.
by going, 3
Yeah.
days
That's
instead of
that decision is
1.
based on going to be based on availability. But if you're looking at I think our listeners should know what's the highest ticket price that I guarantee will sell out quickly for the floor seats at the Honda Center.
99.
Good God. That's not
Yeah.
$25.99, is it?
No, that would be
It's
$2,000 and
$2,599.
$2,600 basically to sit
Yeah.
on the floor of those Disney things. And fine, if you're a corporation and or
Sure.
maybe a big
Or like
influencer or
you're a big
whatever.
influencer and you can write it off and, like I suppose technically we could write it off, but I ain't
No, we
doing that.
can't. We don't make money off this.
Theoretically we do according to the taxes I submit.
And
No,
not the taxes I
I've
submit.
never tried to write this off. It's not really a thing. But I do write off my Comic-Con expenses, so
Well, that's different. That's a professional
yeah.
thing that you do. Like, if I went on the professional pass, I would write it off too. Anyway, yeah, so I'm kind of, oh, but here's the other thing that I noticed that's different from years previous, which I'm not sure how I feel about. They're only offering ticket sales to Disney Gold members. It used to
Yeah.
be that you just had to be a member with D23, which was free. Disney
Mhm.
Gold members pay to be Gold members, and you get, like, whatever little collectible.
Yeah.
And now that's what they're doing. So you have your charter members buy it Tuesday, March 31st.
Right, which has gotta be an incredibly small number of people. I'm not super worried
I would
about that.
imagine. And then a priority purchase window for where we are starts on Thursday, April 2nd at 10 Pacific time.
Mhm.
Last time their ticket process went down. That's why it took us so long.
That's what happened. That's right,
It
because we
went
were
down.
texting Emma being like, "What's going on?"
I
Yeah,
know. Emma was
that's
working for
what took so long.
D23 at that
Yeah.
time. So I don't I don't have a lot of faith is what I'm trying to say. So our hotel reservations are refundable, and I'm going to wait and see if we get tickets, and I'm not going to you want the Honda Center. I'm just going to see what happens.
I honestly think if you don't want the Honda Center, I don't think getting tickets is gonna be very difficult. I think you'll be
The
fine.
3-day pass. The 3-day
That's
pass
what I'm
might sell
saying is
out.
I think the 3-day pass is probably going to be a lot easier to get because they have a lot more numbers that they can fit in the convention center on the whole than in the Honda Center, right? I'm
Maybe.
just comparing it to my experience with Comic-Con. The convention center in San Diego holds like 130,000 people, right? The Anaheim Convention Center is pretty big, and I guarantee the Anaheim Convention Center holds more people than the Honda Center. So there's going to be, I think, a lot. And if you get on at 10 and you're not trying to get a Honda Center ticket,
I
I
don't
think
know
that
if I'm going to be
you'll
able to
probably
get on
go
at
right
10.
through. Yeah. Are you working?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
gonna oof.
It's a Thursday. I'm not going to That's why I'm
I
not.
mean, I'm working too, but I have the privilege of being able to like sit at my desk and mark out an hour. But if it goes past an hour, I don't know that I'm gonna. I can't,
Yeah, I don't think I have
treat
my
the taxpayers of the
30s.
state of California like that.
I've got 36 middle schoolers who are not going to let
Yeah.
me try to get tickets. I can tell
I
you that
mean,
right
here's the
now.
thing. My job is sometimes crisis, so it's not unusual for me to like have somebody come to my office and be like, "Hey, I need you right now." And so it's
Sorry,
just gonna have to
gotta buy
be
my
the way that it's
D23
gonna be,
tickets. Oh, we're
right?
not the only ones. Everybody's probably like that. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, and that just, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm kind of curious to see what our listeners are going to do. There's a lot of our listeners who haven't been to D23, probably have no desire to go.
I mean, I think there's probably, if you listen to this podcast, I think you'd have some level of desire to go. But I think most people, it's, if you don't live, like I live in California, 400 miles from Anaheim, but still. So for me to go to D23, my travel cost is going to be less. My sort of, it's a lot easier for me to go than if I lived in, Wisconsin, for example, right? Or if I lived on the East Coast, right? That's going to be a lot easier for me to make the trip. You're not as close, but you're still on the West Coast, so it's not
Doesn't
as
matter.
difficult as it is for people who are Midwest or in the Deep South or East Coast or anything like.
You know what? With ticket prices the way they are and fuel costs with us at work, I'm wondering who will be able to come out and get tickets
Don't
because
even
I
get me
will tell
started on
you
fuel costs. Oh,
that our tickets, so far, the tickets that we booked are double what we normally pay. Us even getting to Santa Ana right now is double what we normally pay.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Um, you know, there's a whole bunch of things that we're gonna have to take into consideration.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I know,
which
I know everybody's annoyed at me for having a Tesla, but boy, right now do I feel good about that choice because I'm not dealing with
well, I prefer my
$6
Chevy
and
Bolt.
50 cents. How
That's okay. I'm
how many
able to do
miles do
that
you get
too,
on
and
that?
I didn't have to support Elon.
Oh my God. Here we go. Anyway,
Sorry, I have the same benefit and I didn't support Elon. What do you want me to say?
how far does your car go?
What are you
What's
talking
your
about?
range? How many miles do you get?
300, sometimes 400.
Oh, I didn't know
300 and
that. That's
something.
pretty good. Didn't they stop making that car?
No, not yet.
Okay.
A couple
Anyway, but
years.
that's not what we're here to talk about.
No, but
We're talking about a whole different thing.
I'm just saying, I
I'm
will
just
still give
saying
you
you
crap
and I
about
both
having a
have the
Tesla.
privilege of not worrying about
We
gas
do.
costs in our
Mhm.
cars because every time I drive by a friggin' gas station right now, it's a
Yeah,
nightmare. I don't know about in Portland, but here I'm
yeah.
seeing $6 to $7 a gallon for
Well, that
gas.
would make sense for the Bay Area, but even for us,
Yeah.
it's up to almost 5, and I mean, diesel's past 6, so
Oh my God, it's insane. But one of the things we're gonna talk about is sort of the price point, and
let's talk about the price point of
yeah.
Disney. So a friend of mine sent me a YouTube video that I'll put the link to on our show notes. It's from Business Insider, and it was basically talking about the price point of Disney, like how expensive is too expensive. What would be that price point for you to not go anymore? Because guess what? I don't think we've seen it, and I don't know if there's a stopping point. Um, it's a fascinating 20-minute watch that talks about people like us and people like you
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
are diehard Disney fans and we'll go and that's where we get our joy and that's where we can forget about the rest of the world. It also talks about people who, only go once in a lifetime,
Mhm.
which I will always feel bad because I don't
Yeah.
know. I I feel
It's
very
such a part of our ongoing life
mhm,
that if it like, if you think about at our age, and I'm older than you, but at our ages, like, if in our life, as much as we love Disney, we'd only ever been able to afford it once, and not only affording it once, but affording it doing it cheap, right? Like, I think about when we used to go in college, and I ran some quick numbers. A Disneyland ticket we used to go in college quite a bit when you and I were both in college, and if you compare the price, accounting for inflation, to how much we used to spend when we were in college to go to Disneyland and how much a Disneyland ticket is now, because of the variable pricing, if you account for inflation, a cost for a ticket to Disneyland right now compared to 1990 is 60% to 250% more expensive than it was when we were in college. And I remember really stretching to get it when I was in college. I don't think if I was a college student I could go.
you
I just
can't.
couldn't. I wouldn't have that money.
You there and that's what Business Insider was even saying was that even that they did all the price comparisons from food, like a Mickey bar or
Hmm.
a ice cream sandwich or all that kind of stuff, and how much those have gone up. Churros, um, and how much those have skyrocketed. And I am wondering, I don't know the answer to the question of what is too much. And I feel as you know, we're fortunate in the fact that Emma works there, right? I have a
Hmm.
daughter who works for the parks, and that comes with benefits.
Hmm.
Like when she can't get in whenever she wants. The reservation, like you're blocked
Right.
out. You don't get to go if it's too
But you
crowded and
plan
things.
around that, right? Like you
You
can
plan,
say, okay, we're going
yeah.
to go when you have availability. But
And
I mean,
so,
here's my question. Like, I am a single person with
mhm,
my solo income. You are a mom with two kids. Now, in the last few years, both Emma and Annika have spent time working at the parks. But it used to be you would have to pay for the four of you to go. With prices the way they are now, would you, and considering that for the last couple of years, you've kind of been able to do Disney at a pretty significant discount from what you used to do. If you look back, would you be able to do it as much or at all as you did when the girls were coming up?
we'd be able to do it just like some of those people on the video. We definitely wouldn't do it as much. There's no way Ed would go for doing it as much. He can't even handle
Yeah,
like as much as we go when it's free to get in. And we have our DVC, so it's free to stay most of the not free, but we already paid for it.
right. You've already paid for it. Yeah.
So there's no way. There's no way. But I haven't even how long has Lightning Lane been out now? I haven't even paid for Lightning Lane.
I
So
think I've paid for it once,
I've not even
but
paid for
like the
Lightning
cost
Lane.
benefit analysis for that, like here's how I use Lightning Lane. Lightning Lane only makes sense if I'm there at the start of the day. The way I would use it is because I have an annual pass, I don't really worry about, uh, uh, you know, getting at rope drop, right? I just sort of wake up, get breakfast, and wander over to the park. But by the time I wander over to the park, and the Lightning Lane doesn't tell you if there are times left until you pay for it. So I'm sitting there going, should I pay for Lightning Lane because I don't want to miss some of the big rides? But then I go, but what if I pay for it and all the times are already gone? So generally, I won't pay for it because for all I know, I'm going to pay for it and still get nothing out of it. Especially when I think back to our fast pass days when it didn't cost anything.
I know, that's the thing. When I was your age, I didn't have to pay for my Lightning Lane.
Hmm.
Um, 3 weeks ago, I was invited to my friend's kids' scout group on a Sunday afternoon. They have sold their scout cookies, and they are juniors going into senior year. So they're juniors this year, and they have saved for years to go on a trip, and they chose Disneyland. And so with cookie money that they saved, they are going to Disney for 2 days. So they're going to California Adventure they're flying down one day. Then they're going to go to California Adventure, then Disneyland, and then they fly home the next day. Now, this isn't like you and me where we'll have a squishy budget at $50 each to spend on food a day. A
I
day,
don't know
right? They
that you
they
can do
they budgeted it to the
$50.
penny. No, we talked about it. This was
My
exciting for
God.
me. This was a challenge. So we
Right.
went
Like, how do
there.
you feed a kid for $50, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it can be done, right? And so
Yeah.
I loved it. It was like the best conversation I had in so long with these kids. They look at all the things you can do if you're doing a mobile order. What I told them was that there's 2 adults going. I said, "When you guys do your mobile order, don't worry about mobile ordering each one of you. Like, let, the adult do it on their phone. You pass the phone around, whatever. You can get kids' meals, right? You guys, you were
Hmm.
so excited about snacking. They're so excited about the churros and the ice cream. I go,
That's
get a
going to eat up
kids'
all your
meal.
money.
Right, but that's why get a kids meal. Don't worry about, like, having to get an adult meal, and if you do they wanted to go to, like, a table service restaurant. They're deciding which one, but, like,
Not on
split the
$50.
food. But they
Yeah,
can
that's
split the
true.
food.
Yeah, that's true.
Ed and I split meals all the time, or get an appetizer, right? Like, if you wanna go for the experience, there's ways you can do it, but it was very fun, and I loved that challenge of getting together with them. They've saved enough that for tickets and lightning lanes. The only thing that and I don't even know if you know this, um, at the end of March, the what is it, Anaheim
Yeah.
Resort Transit
And so, yeah,
quit.
they're no
They're done.
longer. Yeah, they're done. Yeah.
So that was one of the hotels. The hotel that they're in is kind of by the hotel we stayed at for D23. So it's about a mile away from Toy Story Lot, right?
Hmm.
So they were like, kind of like, oh, what do we do? Now the hotel they're in has come up with a replacement
Yeah. All the
thing.
hotels are going to have to figure this out
Yeah, they
yeah,
will.
because
Um,
people aren't going to stay there.
right, right. And so, what I did tell them though is that, if they can go to the Toy Story lot and try to get in that way. That way you're done with security, not as many people, all that kind of stuff. But
Are they
I
staying?
don't know.
Is the hotel they're staying at having breakfast? That's the way I cut
Yeah.
costs quite a bit.
Yep.
Is making
It's
sure my
having
hotel's got
breakfast so that they do
breakfast.
that.
50
Yep.
bucks a
Yep.
day though. That's okay. I could do it because I have a 3-ounce stomach, right?
It doesn't matter. You still buy the food. You still
I
buy the
know this
other
is true.
food.
But I'm thinking a growing kid eats a lot. And so I just think 50 bucks a day. But think about that. 50 bucks a day is not enough to eat. You have to come up with a strategy to get your meals in under 50 bucks a day. That's kind of insane,
Hey, I know. They think
you
they can
know?
do it.
And, so it's one of those things where it's like, okay, so you've raised money to do the flight, the hotel, I assume parents are getting 50 bucks a day to eat. But you left with just the experience, which is your favorite
The
thing.
50 bucks a
But
day
if it was
they
me,
earn.
you want a t-shirt or something.
I don't
Something.
know. They'll do it. They'll have fun. They're 15 and 16 years old. They're gonna have
Yeah.
fun. But yeah, I can't wait to see what they end up doing for that.
Well, and it's interesting because I watched that news report you sent, and one of the things and one of sort of the underlying pieces is Disney makes more money at the parks than they are with the movies right now. And so that's part of the exchange is remembering that this is a company that's a multi profit driven company. And so it's what impacts one impacts the other. So if the movies aren't making money, they got to make it up in the parks. If the parks stop making money, which I do think there is a point at which you stop getting people coming. I don't think, look, I grew up poor. We went to Disneyland once in my childhood. Oh, twice. And both times were a real struggle for my parents to swing. A real struggle. And because it's my parents, I knew about it because my mom would not stop complaining about how much money we're spending on blah, right? But it was a real struggle. I think if you're a poor family, you ain't going to Disneyland. I think if you're a lower middle class family, you ain't going to Disneyland because you sit there and you go, okay, I gotta pay 6 digits for my kids' education. I gotta start saving for that. They got travel ball and they've got, soccer practice and they've got all the little tiny little costs that
They
comes along
still
with raising
go.
a kid. Well, my point is, I think that it's getting to the point where not only poor folks, but lower middle class folks and middle class folks are not going to be able to go anymore. And
Well,
the
it hasn't
question
happened yet.
is, I think it has. I think it's to the point where not that they can't go, but going less. I go less than I used to. You go less than you used to, and I have an annual pass. And you've got kids that are getting you in free, and yet because it still costs me a lot of money for a Disneyland trip. I got to fly down there. I got to get a hotel. You're still spending money even though you got DVC, right? Like
Yeah, but it's
it's
still our
not.
cheapest vacation. I mean, for
Yeah,
us, it's our cheapest vacation, but
right,
that's only because of family members who work there. Um, I don't know. I think that Disney has said in that Business Insider, they have said that look, the more we charge, we can kind of control the crowds and the
right,
class of people that are
right.
coming. I don't think they've been able to do that. I think it's still really crowded. I think that the last time we went in December, I think that things were a little more shoddy than I'm used to.
Hmm.
Like think a lot of things were broken down, some things weren't taken care of to the level of
That you're
expectation that
used
I'd
to at Disney, yeah.
expect. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on
Well, here's
now.
another factor I think at play, which is another influencer did a YouTube video about this, and I thought it was really interesting. Is what Disney's traded off is not necessarily price point because maybe you could still get at the price point, but what you're exchanging is money for time, right? And so the more money you have,
Mm,
the more you can
yeah.
buy access to time, right? I did a analysis once of the VIP tour, right? Because I was like, at a certain price point and with a certain number of people, it's actually financially a smart decision to get a VIP tour. If you're like, I am not leaving Disneyland unless I ride everything, and it's going to take you 2 or 3 days to ride everything, versus I get a VIP tour and I can probably knock everything out that I want to ride in one day. At a certain point, if you can afford the initial investment in a VIP tour, it actually might make more financial sense to do a VIP tour, right?
Isn't it like
It's a very
$400 an
interesting,
hour with a minimum of like
but
6
it's with a
hours or
minimum
something?
of like, but you can take like up to 10 people, right? So if
Yeah.
no, most of those time it's going to be like families with kids. But let's say you've got a
Yeah.
group of 10 adults and you're all splitting that cost. It's not cheap, right? But is it cheap versus 3 days? If your goal is to like, I want to hit all of my favorite rides, right? I want to make sure I don't leave Disneyland without hitting X, Y, and Z. That can take you 2 or 3 days, right? It's just and I think it's more true about Disney World than at Disneyland, because Disneyland, at least everything's sort of close together. But if you want to hit like everything at 4 parks
Well, you can't
in
do that.
Orlando, you can with a VIP tour.
I thought a
Not
VIP
every
tour was
single
per
thing, but
park.
all the top attractions at every park. You could do that in one day with a VIP tour.
Maybe. I don't
I
know.
just
I'd
think
have
that
to look.
there's a lot of more access, the more money you spend, is my point. Is that if you have the means,
So you're
you can have.
talking you're talking you pay admission
Mm-hmm,
for each person.
mm-hmm,
And then depending on when it is, it's 500 to 950 an hour, a 7-hour minimum
yeah.
for up to 10 guests. I don't know. I don't know.
I just think that I have to look back on my research, but I did the numbers one day and I was surprised how close it came.
And it is customary to tip your guide. So add that in
Sure.
there too. But I'm just saying, like, okay, so now we know that Disney is geared, not that it never was, but Disney is geared towards those with money. All right. So fine. So we accept that. I still think that there are people without money that are paying to go. And I think they're putting it on credit. I think that,
Yeah. They're
I
going
mean,
into
it's,
debt for it, putting it on credit cards or saving up for a year or two.
and what I think is that it's not worth it right now. You're going and like things are closed down. Like you're still going. You're paying the same amount whether Rise of the Resistance is open or not. You're paying the same amount whether Cars is open or not. You're not like getting a deal if 3 rides are closed. You're paying the
Well,
same
and
amount.
in general, unless you're there like on very specific times when there's an anniversary, I've never been to Disney Park where there wasn't a major attraction that was closed for refurbishment.
Yeah, I don't
There's always something closed for refurbishment. I just account for that, right? I just did a quick AI and asked the AI, what's the practical break even point for tours versus buying a ticket? VIP tour becomes financially comparable when you have 8 to 10 people, because the per person cost, let's assume all of those people are paying for themselves, is somewhere in the neighborhood of $350 a person on the low end. And the assumptions are you have 8 to 10 people, you would otherwise also buy Lightning Lane heavily, and your time is highly valuable. It about breaks even, because at about 350 per person.
plus admission. So what's that, another
No, that accounts for
150 on
admission.
top?
Yeah, because
Oh,
you can do, yeah. At least I'm assuming. I just did a quick back of the envelope thing on ChatGPT, but it's pretty close.
$300 per person without, I mean, including admission would be good, but I bet you that that's not including
I
admission.
mean, I'll look. Let me look. There's some math here that I don't like. When VIP tours make the most sense. Best candidates for a VIP tour: multi-generation family trips, once in a lifetime visits, corporate outings. Yeah, that means somebody else is paying for it. Disney super fans wanting maximum rides, groups already spending heavily on Lightning Lane, visitors with limited time.
I don't know. Hey, listeners, how many of you have been? I know that some of you have. I know that some people have been on the VIP tour, especially when two families go together and then they can do that.
I'd be
I'd like
very
to
curious to hear from
hear.
somebody who did a VIP tour.
Yeah, I'd like to hear about that. Just an hour though, $1,000 an hour, $7,000. $7,000 for an amusement park.
No, you're thinking of $7,000, $700 for you. But it's like, what's the
And I was
fancy
talking about
restaurant?
total, like if you're taking your whole family.
Yeah, because you're a mom, so you often think, and it makes sense. You often think in terms of one person paying. As a single person, I think of I'm paying my share.
Yeah, you're right. I
So
don't
yeah,
think
if you're a family and you've got grandpa who's gonna say, I'm gonna float the whole bill for my all my family to do a VIP tour and it's on me, yeah, it's super expensive, right? And I would love you, grandpa, if you did that. But I'm saying if you split the cost, if you have 10 adults, Disney super fans, like it's like
maybe.
the that restaurant experience where it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
$15,000
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
put together groups online and it's I still think 1,500 is a lot of money for 1,500 bucks for a meal, especially because of my situation where I couldn't eat very much of it. I wouldn't do it, but um there is a point. Is all I'm saying is, and my underlying point is, if you've got a certain amount of money, don't think about the fact that, well, it's hard for you not to think about that, but don't think about the fact that it's like, let's say it's double. Let's say the cost is double what you would spend as an individual, but you walk in the park, it's a VIP tour, you wander around, you get on everything you want, you don't have to worry, you're not waiting on lines, it's all stress-free. How much is the stress-free component worth it to you? Particularly you who don't like crowds.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. I'd have
I
to think
think we
about it.
should have our listeners think about it. Like, at what point does it become worth it for you to avoid? Because let's talk about what are the negatives to you of a Disney park experience, and let's compare it to whether or not you could pay your way out of it. Could you pay your
Yeah,
way
you
out of
can pay
most of
your
the
way out
negative?
of it. Yeah,
Uh huh.
absolutely. You could pay your way out of it.
You don't like the
Absolutely.
crowds,
Yeah.
so you could pay
Yeah.
your way out of the
Yeah.
crowds. You don't like the
Yeah.
waiting. You could pay your
But
way out of the wait.
and that's what Disney is banking on now, right? I mean, not even without
Mm-hmm.
the VIP tours and things like that, but yeah, that's a good point. I would be interested for our listeners, like what is that breaking point? What is that breaking point for you? Or what would you pay for to have a good
Mm-hmm.
experience? What's the price point that you won't pay anymore to go to Disney?
Yeah.
And
Well, and
that's what I
again,
would love to hear.
it's far beyond what I could afford, right? Like, but if I was closer to the affordability, I mean, I think if somebody said, "Al, we're going to put together a VIP tour. Are you down? It's going to cost you $500, but it's going to be one day. Let's say in Orlando, they put us in a van. We give them the list of the attractions we want, and we can go to all four parks in the day and knock out our list of attractions without having to wait in line, without having to wait to get in line for food. We're just going to do everything VIP." I might throw down $500 for that, especially if I'm
Okay.
already throwing down like $300 just to get in the park.
But then you're saying that so this is where I have like a hard time. Part of what I love about being at Disney is the relaxing at Disney. If I am just paying to go on attractions, no, that's not for me. I need like I
But I
need
mean,
I
but the
need
tour
some
is up to you.
atmosphere. No, I know,
The
I know,
tour
I
you can
know,
yeah,
I
you can
know,
tell them, "Oh, we just wanna
I
do
know.
atmosphere day," right?
All right. All right. Well, all right. Good to think
I
about.
my thing is, would I spend it? Yes, but growing up in the way I did, I think I'd feel really guilty. I think I'd feel really guilty doing that. I would be
Yeah,
like,
for
"Oh,
sure.
yeah, I'm spending $500 to wander around like a hoity-toity guy at Disneyland, and I got family that's needs new shoes and, blah de blah de
Oh,
blah."
well, I couldn't do that either, but
Yeah.
all right. Well, now it's time to ask our listeners. We have hit our 45-minute mark. We've spent our conversation in the queue. Yeah, but very interested to hear what you'll say. Let us know on our social media. I'm not on TikTok anymore. more after Larry Ellison bought it. I kind of avoided TikTok. So
To
you
be
can
fair,
find
I've
us on
never been on TikTok.
Okay, well, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook. I think that's where you guys all hang out anyway. So we are where you are. Yeah, I can't wait to hear what you think.
Please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened. Wait for the podcast to come to a complete stop before disembarking. Permanece centavos, por favor.